Jeffrey's staring at his phone. She still hasn't replied. What? She's posted to a story 7 minutes ago, but I texted her an hour ago. Should I double text? No, that's cringe. But maybe if I say something else funny, maybe I should send her something. Who's she out with? Let me just watch her story again. Okay, I'm gonna double text her. Adonis kicks the door down and saves Jeffrey from embarrassing himself. Come with me, little one. It's beautiful. Adonis gets Jeffrey into self-improvement. He's meditating, reading books, working hard, building a business, leveling up his fitness. He looks so fulfilled and different now. Adonis and Jeffrey hit PRs in the gym together. A girl smiles at Jeffrey and he feels awesome. And then Jeffrey's phone beeps. It's Jessica, but he doesn't even notice. After my first year in university, I traveled back home to my hometown and I'm gonna go on a night out with my old high school friends. So it's the first time that I'm seeing them for over a year and I'm just walking into the town center of where we live and I see the group right there. It's the guys that I used to play video games with, that I grew alongside for like 5-6 years in high school. And instantly, it's like I never left. It's like we're back to the gang's back. It's hype. We're laughing at each other, talking, whatever. And after a little bit of conversation, we start walking over to the club that we're going out to. As we're on the walk there, I remember years before this point when me and the same friends used to walk home from school, and there was one day in particular where I was with two of these friends and they were with two of the girls that they were kind of dating or wanting to start dating. And then there was me, by myself. On that day, we waited around at the school, like after school ended, for like 10-15 minutes, just waiting in like one of the corridors, waiting for one of the girls to like finish something that she had to do after school. So even though she's like not my girl, I didn't even really know her, I'm waiting with these guys as well because I don't want to walk home by myself. But eventually she finishes, she kind of hugs the one friend who's kind of seeing her, kind of wants to see her. My other friend is there with the girl that he is kind of seeing, wants to see, whatever. And then there's just me. And as we're walking home from school that day, since I'm kind of, the fifth wheel and I'm kind of lonely and awkward, I'm kind of like being a clown to try and get some attention and make everyone laugh. And I drop down onto all fours and start doing like this army commando crawl. And one of the girls is looking and laughing like at me, not with me. And we get to this part of the road. I still remember we get to this part of the road where my house was like another 5 minutes that way. But one of the girls' house was that way. And my friends, when we would walk together, they would always come the same direction as me because their house was basically the same direction. But on this day, of course, when the girl says she's going that way, my friends say, oh yeah, we'll go that way too. And since I didn't want to walk home from school by myself, I say, okay, well, I'll walk that way with you guys as well. I walk with these friends like the long way around our town to eventually get back to my home. And my mom's asking me like, why are you home so late? Like you're usually home like 45 minutes earlier than this. And it's kind of cringe for me to say, yeah, we were waiting for one of my friend's girls that he wants to date, and then she wanted to go the other way, which was completely like, off the direction of our house, and I didn't have a girl, and I kind of wanted to walk with my friends, but they wanted to walk with the girl, so I had to kind of go with them and whatever. That was kind of my high school experience. So now, seeing my high school friends again, it's years later past that point, we're walking over to the club, this is going to be fun, I've been going to university, I've been partying recently, I've made new friends in uni, I've been going to the gym, I've changed as a man. And we get into the club, we go and order some drinks, get the drinks, and then my friends do something which I kind of remembered they did, but I almost forgot about since I had just had a year of like partying in uni with like really cool people. They got their drinks, let me show you. They got their drinks and they just stood in the corner of the club, kind of like awkwardly holding their drinks up here, kind of like looking at people and kind of making little jokes amongst themselves, not dancing, not speaking to any girls. And that was weird for me because I've just been in university. I've just been like getting used to like cold approaching and whatever. So I'm kind of stood with these guys, I came with them, whatever. And that's when I make eye contact with a girl on the dance floor. And I do what I'm used to at this point. I walk straight up to her, talk a little bit, grab her hand, what's your name? Okay, boom, make her do a little spin, and we end up dancing together. And I'm like, oh, this is cool as fuck, you know, like I've been partying and going to clubs for the last year. I've learned how to like talk to girls and how to be funny and confident, whatever. Okay, this is cool. She's dancing on me a little bit. And then she's dancing on me. So she's there facing me. I'm here facing her. And my friends are behind me. And she kind of looks over my shoulder and she says, are those your friends? I look back and I just see them all in the corner with their cups held high like this. And I felt kind of almost slightly embarrassed to say, yes. But then she says, I think they're making fun of you. And when she said that, I knew exactly that she was right. That's the kind of guys these guys are. That they'd be stood in the corner of the club with their drinks held high, getting no girls, making fun of the guy who's actually having more fun than them. I should have been in that corner alongside them. The reason I wasn't was because in the meantime, when we hadn't seen each other for like a year or 2 years, I had disappeared. I improved. And that's when I returned. I got into self-improvements. And that's what I think you need right now. Self-improvement is where you just improve yourself in the areas of life that you care about. Like your fitness, your confidence, your ability to talk to girls and even to guys, and maybe your mental health and your habits, like not using your phone so much and quitting porn. You look out for all these things that you've wanted to change in your life. And then you just one by one start improving them. You get onto a rigorous self-improvement protocol, the 6-step protocol that I'm going to teach you in this video. And it will change you so much that when you step back into the same social circle as before, they'll hardly recognize you and they'll be forced to acknowledge the improvement that you've made. Because right now, if you're anything like me when I was younger, you're not getting the respect that you want from the guys around you. They're like, you know, they say they're joking, but honestly, it's kind of like bullying the way that the other guys in your age group treat you. The girls, even though there's a few girls every now and then that you're kind of texting, you're not the one, and I excuse me for being vulgar, especially if you're young, but you are not the one whose dick they are sucking. You think that, you know, oh yeah, we're all young, that kind of stuff doesn't really happen. It's happening. And they're not choosing you for that. You are like their little texting buddy, you know, the girls that you want. Sometimes they reply to your text, and that makes you feel like you're making a bit of progress, but you are not the one they're obsessing over, that they're freeing up their schedule for, that they really genuinely want. And then about your own self as well. You are not the version of you right now where when you go and stand in front of the mirror that your brain says positive thoughts, is it? Be honest. When you stand in front of the mirror, your brain says negative things, doesn't it? About your appearance, about the way that you stand, about your teeth, about the random insecurities you have, about the life path that you're on, the stress that you have from school or from work, that you don't have like a career or a business planned out, that you don't even know what you're going to do with your life after school, that you've wasted so much of your potential on video games. You know these things. I was exactly like that. That's when I got into self-improvement. And I'm going to get you into it just like I did. So here is the 6-step protocol for you to disappear, improve yourself, and when you return, you will shock them all. Step number 1, disappear from low-level people. And that probably sounds rude. Wait, low-level people? No one's a lower level than anyone else. That is such a cute thing to say. And it is also gay as fuck, because it's a fucking lie. In life, especially for men, but even for women, there are absolutely levels and hierarchies. In fact, you actually know this. As much as when I said disappear from low-level people, it kind of triggers something to be like, no, that's rude, whatever. You know what level you're on. Just visualize in your mind, you know what level you're on. Amongst the people that you know in high school and work, you know what level you're on. You know who's above you, you know who's below you, and you know what's interesting? Everyone else knows too. So we can be sat here like little pussy Jeffreys and say, no one's actually more valuable than the other person, but that's just small talk. That's just BS. The truth is we all acknowledge that there is a hierarchy. Someone is below you and someone is above you. And your position in this hierarchy completely dictates how much other men will respect you and how much women will want to fuck you. So we can be sat and being all nice saying no one's more valuable than shut the fuck up. Or we can just tell the truth and say, if you climb this hierarchy, more men will respect you, more women will want to fuck you, so why don't you just fucking climb the hierarchy and we admit that there is such a fucking thing as like levels of humans, because there absolutely is. So right now, your level's kind of low, and you'll only be spending time with people whose level is kind of low in life. You can visualize them right now, the video gamers, the guys who go home and scroll and goon. If you keep hanging out with these people, you will stay like one of them. If you keep hanging out with the guys who are addicted to video games, you'll be addicted to video games too. Every guy who's eventually quit playing video games will tell you this same story, where he really didn't want to get rid of the friends because they were the only friends he had, but eventually when he finally quit playing games, which were ruining his life, but he finally quits, he tries to still be friends with these guys, but he just can't now. He hops into like the Discord call they're all on, and it's almost like a headache being on a call with like 2-3 guys who are playing a game and you're not. And he realizes that they're just kind of losers and nerds, and as much as they have been kind of like nice people, he wants something more in his life, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you keep hanging out with losers, you will stay a loser. It's as simple as that. Now, if you know a guy who's at a low level, but he's ambitious and he's genuinely working hard in his self-improvement journey to get to a higher level, then that's still a good friend to have. But chances are the guys you know who are losers, they're not actually doing anything about stopping being a loser. So 1 or 2 of them might talk about locking in, Andrew Tate, whatever, let's make money. But really, when they get home, they're gooning and jacking off and playing Fortnite and all those things. They're not actually leveling up in life. And if you surround yourself with people who aren't leveling up in life, you will also not be leveling up. I'm telling you. It is better to be alone than it is to be surrounded with low-level people. Because when you're alone, you get to just completely dictate your own time. You get to completely just focus on your self-improvement journey. That lets you level up faster to the point that you start to unlock friendships, relationships with higher level people. So step number 1, disappear from the low-level people. You already know the way you do this. You'll stop hopping into the Discord server, the calls. You stop engaging in the group chat. You stop sitting next to the guys who, they're kind of funny, but they're also like distracting the class, and they're also just little retards that have got nothing going for them. You just create a bit of a distance. And of course, these guys will ask you like, hey, like, why are you sat over there? Why don't you come sit next to me? And you just politely say something like, oh, I want to focus on this class. When they say, hey, why aren't you coming online? Come online to play some game with us. You say, oh, I'm just focused on something else. You create a bit of a distance. And you know what's interesting? You're going to tell these losers that you're basically leveling up in life. You're doing good things, which we'll discuss in a second, that the activities you should do. And you know what's interesting? How to tell these guys are complete losers. They're going to attack you for it. You think they're nice people right now. When you tell these guys, hey, I'm not going to play video games because I'm going to go and do some of these self-improvement activities, they will call you gay. They will call you weird. They'll call you like fake Andrew Tate or some shit like that. They'll make fun of you for being a healthier person. That's how you know that these people are not to be trusted or to be spent time with. They seem nice right now, but the moment you try and step above the crowd, kind of like the tall poppy syndrome, when you step above, they will try and bring you back down. They're not as nice people as it seems right now. Step number 2, lower your screen time. I genuinely believe it's our screen usage, especially for young people, that is one of the biggest problems that you're facing that is keeping you weak. If you lower your screen time, that means you automatically stop playing video games as much, stop jacking off as much, and spraying your masculine energy outwards instead of retaining it inwards. You stop frying your dopamine receptors and your attention span on short form content like TikTok and Instagram. You do realize how bad screens are for your brain, and it's your brain that's gonna dictate how successful you are in life and how soon you start making money. So if that's the case and you agree with me, you probably already know your phone is bad for you and you already see everyone else is addicted to their phones, but it's just very hard to quit, especially because your entire social life is on there. To that, I say, fuck it. Okay, so you'll miss out on some things. Imagine I told you, okay, I'm going to take your phone and you can't use your phone anymore. You'd miss out on the newest like trend that's happening right now. You'd miss out on a few group chats, right? But a lot of them don't actually add to your life. Think about it. You're not in a position in life where you're actually happy and fulfilled, even though you've got those group chats and servers and all that bullshit that you're using your phone for. You're not happy. You're actually kind of depressed, even with those chats, even with that screen time. So is it really helping or adding to your life? Actually, more often than not, for most of us, our screen usage is detracting from our lives. We just have addictions to think, oh, well, I can't stop using Instagram because that's where, I message my friends. But overall, if you're living like a depressed, sad life right now and you're watching this video in this need to completely change your life, even if you're getting some kind of benefit from being in the group chat on Instagram or seeing the one girl in your school on TikTok or some bullshit or Snapchat streaks or whatever, overall, your life is still kind of shit anyway. And I'm telling you, overall, your life will actually improve once you take a step back from your screen. So hopefully you can agree with that. And I know it can be so scary because, look, you're way younger than me. For me, it's kind of easier because when you get older, there's not as much pressure to use fucking Snapchat or whatever. And in fact, most people who, once they become an adult, they really only use these platforms for like business or something, or like genuinely for high quality use, like taking a picture of their baby or something. But when you're young, it's like it's a cancer for your growth, for your brain, for your health, for your mental health. So please just trust what I'm saying, because I promise I will get you to a better position in life. You've got to drastically reduce your phone usage. You've got to become kind of like that weird guy in class that barely even uses his phone, that, for example, doesn't even bring his phone into the school. Imagine like one of the Jeffreys in your class, like one of the losers, or one of the girls who's a loser, Jessica. Imagine one of them, and when they hear that you don't bring your phone into school, the look that they give you, because they're addicts. It's the same as like, imagine a fat guy, you tell him that you're eating clean, and he'd look at you like, why? Why would you do that? It's like, why would you let these inferior people create any kind of social judgment that makes you feel bad for getting onto a healthier path? Really, think about it. You wouldn't take a fat guy seriously who started to pressure you to eat junk food, right? Of course not. But then you shouldn't be taking some school kid seriously who's telling you like, what? You don't use Snapchat? You don't use TikTok? Yeah, but like that fucking girl's got like ADHD. That guy jacks off 3 times a day. So even though some people will look at you a bit weird, you know what's interesting? The highest quality people in your school or in your work, they actually will respect you for this. Like I don't take my phone to the gym anymore. And when people ask me or I kind of casually mention it, basically every person I meet now who's like a high quality person says, oh, that's so good. I've got to start doing that as well. High quality people of these days now, we all realize that like your phone is such a trap and it's so hard to control it. So consider just not taking your phone out to school or to other places you go to. Consider when you wake up and you've used it as like an alarm, the first thing you do is not check your fucking notifications, whatever. You just turn it off. I know that sounds crazy, but if you did that for just a few days, you'd feel like a fucking G, like your brain will feel so good. And it'll be so easy to slip back and to grab it again. But I'm telling you, if you can become the kind of guy who doesn't take his phone to the school, gym, work. And I know what you're probably thinking is, wait, what if something small bad happens? Like what if I needed to check something on the way there? What if, school were going to send an email to say that school's cancelled and I didn't see it and I just wasted the trip there? And to that I'd say, okay, bro, okay, what if? What if once a year you went and commuted to school or work and you got the rare email that school's been cancelled that day, and let's say you didn't see it, and you wasted like an hour of your time getting ready, going to school, realizing it's closed and coming back home? What if that happens like once a year? It's not that big of a deal. You wasted a couple of hours, right? What if you're going to go meet your friend for something? You've organized to meet him at that place at 3 p.m. You get there, he's not there, and you're like, oh, that's a bit shit. Okay, whatever, I'll just go eat by myself, whatever the plan was. What if that happens like once a month and you've kind of wasted a few hours? It's still better than wasting a few hours every single day on your phone, right? The small bad things that can happen when you don't bring your phone out with you are way less than the big bad thing that happens when you are constantly attached to your phone, which is the destruction of your mental health. Your phone completely makes you feel more depressed. You know how like there's that phrase, it's because of that damn phone. It really absolutely is. So from now on, in this period of your life, this self-improvement period that I'm getting you onto, you keep your phone off. keep it off, keep it put away, keep it in like some drawer in your house. Like see this drawer right here underneath those books. I keep my phone off and I just put it in there when I go to the gym. When I come back home and I need to use it for something, I swear to God, this is what I do. I stand right here, turn my phone on, use it for something like to order food or whatever, and then I turn it off and put it back in the drawer. I do that because I'm a disciplined guy, but I'm still an addict for this shit. I'm still an addict for this. Chances are I'm more disciplined than you. Chances are I've leveled up like my ability to resist these modern day addictions more than you. And I'm telling you, if I have my phone next to me 24/7, I use it for like a ridiculous amount. I'm talking 3-4 hours a day minimum. And you're probably thinking, wait, what? 3-4 hours a day? You probably get that before like fucking 11 a.m., right? Most young people, your screen time's what? 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. You probably know some girls whose screen time in your class is literally like 11, 12 hours. How crazy is that? And the same people will say that they don't have time to read books or to do something healthy like go to the gym, to build a business, to level up in a career, and they'll start complaining that other people are getting unfair advantages. This is one of the biggest steps you can make, because if you do this, if you lower your screen time, you will bring so much free time and mental energy into your life that will allow you to do the next steps that we're going to cover. I know that you have so many reasons not to listen to this advice because you want to take your phone to the gym, for example. When you go to the gym, it'd be nice to listen to your own music, whatever. When you're going to go meet your friend, it'd be nice to have your phone with you. All these things, I totally get it, but I'm telling you, the trade-off is not worth it. At one point, you're going to really learn this lesson, and I hope you can just trust what I'm saying to you right now. If you're a young person, one of the greatest leverages that you have is just be detached from your phone and all this modern technology. Step number 3 of this protocol for you to disappear and improve your life. Read books for at least 1 hour a day. For 1 hour a day minimum, read books. And I know a lot of people are watching this thinking, but I can't really read books though. Like I've tried, but my brain just doesn't really focus. It's kind of boring. And that's exactly why you need to read books. Think about it. If I asked you, how do you think you'd be able to start reading, right? If you're one of the guys who says, I can't read, how do you think you'd be able to start reading? By reading and practicing, right? Whenever I mention I read for like 3 to 6 hours a day, which I'm successful, so I've got a free schedule basically. But whenever I say that to people, they're like, oh God, that's crazy. I can only read for like 2 minutes and I get bored. And I always say to them like, no, but that's good though. Just read for 2 minutes, get bored. That's okay. Take a break and then read for another 2 and another 2. Like when I first started reading, I could read barely like 1 or 2 sentences without my brain just fucking wandering off. Now I can read like half a book in one sitting. Like I'm talking, I can be sat there for like 3-4 hours straight, only getting up to like drink some water or go to the toilet and just be focused on it straight. And reading is basically like a form of meditation. You know how you heard like monks meditate, and when they do that, their focus gets really, really good. They always seem so still and so calm, which is like the opposite of like a modern day high schooler. When you read, it's actually a form of meditation at the same time. So I would recommend you start getting some books. You can find them for free online. You can search like a book title and write PDF, or you can buy an Amazon Kindle. Like if you've got some money, order a Kindle. It's like a reading device that you can get from Amazon. And you can get books on that like super quick, and they're a little bit cheaper than like the physical copies. Start reading books. Start reading like self-improvement books like every single day, 1 hour minimum. I promise when you read them, you will start to think the same things that I am, where you're like, holy shit, all the answers are in here. And then try your best to implement what you've learned, and you can achieve anything you want in life. You'll get the same realization that every person who reads gets, which is like, wait, this is like overpowered. Reading, I'm telling you right now, reading books is the best form of education possible. The second best form of education after reading books is long videos and video courses. That's where a video might be like a 1 hour long guide, kind of like this video here. Or it might be like a 4, 5, 6 hour long course that you can really stare at and obsess over, which will just really help you in one particular area. Like for example, you can go buy a course. You can buy a course on like social skills, and it'll take you 4 or 5 hours to watch all the videos, like kind of like a playlist of video modules. And when you get to the end of it, you would have learned so much more that then next time you go step into that social circle, you'll have so many things to practice and you'll genuinely make progress in life. Those little bits of insights that you can get from like Instagram and TikTok, you know how sometimes you use those platforms and sometimes you learn something from them. It's not even like 0.1% as much as like a reading a book or taking like a full length course. So start that immediately. Go find a book that you can start reading. Go to the bookstore near your city or go buy one from Amazon. I'll recommend a book for you right now. I really like the book The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. Go get that, order it in, and start reading it 1 hour a day minimum. I'm telling you, reading is one of the habits of the young millionaires. The fourth step of this protocol for you to change your life is to train twice a day. And I know what you're thinking, wait, train twice a day, like just go to the gym twice in a day. Isn't that overtraining? I don't really have time for that. And to that, I'd say yes, you fucking do. Because if you've just reduced your screen time like we spoke about, let's say your screen time's usually like 6 hours a day, and now you bring it down to 1 or 2 hours. You've just freed up like a fucking handful of hours that you can use to train. I think you should train minimum daily for the rest of your fucking life. But when you're young, and also when you are full of addictions, like you probably are right now, like you're addicted to video games and porn and junk food and all this bullshit, I think training twice a day actually makes sense as well. I think one of the workouts that you do, you should go to the gym and go over to the weights area, you know, where there's the machines and the dumbbells and the barbells, and go do a workout there. And the reason why you lift weights is so you can build a aesthetic body, like the kind of physique that gets you respect from guys, and girls honestly get horny for you. You build an aesthetic body like that, and it will be like one of the best things you do in your life. Like the impact a good body has is crazy based on how other people treat you, but also your own self-esteem. So I think it's one of the best pursuits that you can get into as a young guy, because look, we can be all nice and whatever, but the truth is your attractiveness is really important. Don't let anyone convince you that it's not, that it's shallow or whatever. It's really fucking important. And one of the best things you can do to improve your attractiveness is to build an aesthetic body. So go lift some weights and build that physique. If you want the exact workout routines that I recommend to build a physique, and also like a 5-hour course on the physique, the diet, the training, the mindset, everything that I could teach you to build a physique like mine, in the top link of the description is like my self-improvements, social media, community course, like educational platform basically, where you can join, and there's a ton of courses in there. And one of the courses in there is the aesthetic body course, where I put like 10 years of knowledge into this one course that if you just obsess over and watch it all the way through, you'll know everything you need to go and build that physique. As a bonus point here, if you're someone who already kind of understands the journey of building the physique, I want to give you a little bit more advanced tip here. I really recommend at this point that you do either a big bulk or a big cut. What that means basically is that I recommend you either gain a lot of weight by eating a lot when you're training in the gym, when you're building this physique, or if you're already kind of fat, I recommend you do a long and a big cut, which means you eat less and you'll lose a lot of weight. I think at this young age, especially when you want to have that sort of shock factor when someone sees you, you should do more of a prolonged bulk or cut, so that the next time someone sees you, let's say like after the summer holidays, you've gained like fucking 10, 15 pounds, you look way bigger, or you've lost like 20, 30 pounds, so you look way slimmer. I think if you just kind of maintain a little bit, you kind of look a little bit better every few months, but it's not like a shock factor. If you want to shock people, let's say it's the summer holidays, it's going to be a few months before anyone sees you, or you're going to go away for a year or whatever, doing a big bulk and gaining like 20, 30 pounds in a year, I think that's when you'll step in and people will be like, holy fuck, you look like a man now. The fifth step of this protocol is for you to learn female nature. Most guys have absolutely no clue how girls actually work. And you know what's interesting? This isn't just the teenagers. This is also the grown men. Most men of the modern day do not understand what girls are actually attracted to and who they want to date, and more importantly, who they want to fuck. Most guys are absolutely clueless with it. You've been told all these lies from like the Hollywood movies that you should be like this nerd who obsesses over the girl and you're so nice, and you know she's getting fucked by this jock, but now if you're really nice and if you save her life, then she'll really like you, and it puts you in this weird like pedestalizing kind of energy where you're obsessed over her and you're trying to save her whenever, when in reality like it's the jock that's fucking her. These Hollywood movies have showed you like such a lie. And also feminism and your female teachers and your parents, everyone you see is following like a script, a protocol, which isn't actually effective. If you want to be the guy that girls actually want to fuck, you need to behave so differently than what you probably imagine you need to behave with girls. If you want to be the guy that girls just kind of text, maybe sometimes they text when they're bored, when they're basically waiting for the real guy they want to be free, you can just act like this nice guy that society tells you to act like and text her back and do all this beautiful, cute shit, but that's not what gets a girl hooked onto you. You've got to position yourself more as the bad boy rather than the nice guy. And most guys really struggle with this because you've been told all this time to be really nice, and it seems crazy to say, wait, should I not be nice to girls? So you've got a lot of learning to do. This is why learning female nature is actually such an important part of your self-improvement journey as a young man, because it takes away all the bullshit, like this bullshit like veil that's been put in front of your eyes so that you can finally start seeing the truth. So to become the bad boy, a big part of that is actually building the physique, so you're sexy, but a lot of it is down to your mindset, your beliefs, and hearing stories from other guys who are good with girls telling you like what they've done, and you're like, wait, what? I didn't even think that you could behave like that with girls, but now that I think about it, I bet that would work on this girl. Let me try it right now. Like, oh my God, it works, whatever. You need those kinds of experiences. That program that I mentioned, by the way, it's where a lot of our most like committed guys who are getting into self-improvement go to. And inside of there's actually a course on this as well, becoming the bad boy that girls actually want to fuck. So if you want to go and spend like 5-6 hours learning that, top link in the description. The sixth I'll put a random photo. The sixth and final step of this protocol is to level up your social skills and talk to everyone. And that might sound weird because in this video I'm telling you to disappear from everyone, but there is a split that I want you to have. I want you to not be spending a lot of time with losers and with low-level people. Don't be playing video games with them. Don't be going out with them. Don't be partying, taking drugs with losers that you don't respect. Don't be texting girls that aren't even that hot, or they're not even, nice people, and you're texting them and FaceTiming them. Stop hanging out with low-level people. But I also want you to be as social as possible in your conversations by talking to as many people as possible. Do you see how there's like a weird split between them? We want you to talk to as many people as possible in the day, but also whilst limiting the time that you spend with low-level people. So what this actually looks like is, let's say you wake up and I told you to go train twice a day. You're going to do one bodybuilding, like weightlifting session, and one like martial arts session or running or whatever. When you go to the gym, you try your best to speak to as many people in there as possible. You go in and fist bump this person. This guy's just working out. You just give him a fist bump anyway and just say hello. I know that sounds crazy, but you're thinking, you know what? It's not illegal to do that. And if he doesn't want to fist bump you back, it's fine, but it's a test of your courage. And he smiles and you're like, oh shit, like the big guy who's 10 years older than you in the gym has started liking you because you just come in with a smile and you say good morning. Nothing's stopping you from going to the gym or going to school or onto the bus or in the town center. Nothing's stopping you going up to people and just saying, good morning, how are you today? I just felt like speaking to a lot of people today. And a lot of people will smile because they'll actually appreciate that. And the thing is, look, 1 or 2 people might look at you a bit weird, but they're the weird ones, not you. Nothing is stopping you from going into the gym and just fist bumping as many people as possible. Going up to the girl there and just fist bumping her, say good morning and walk away. Fist bump that guy. Nothing's stopping you from fist bumping 10, 20 people a day. And you know what's going to be beautiful about this? You will level up your social skills so quickly by doing this. You will speak to that big black guy in the gym. He's 43 years old. He's fucking jacked. And now, every time you come into the gym, he's hyping you up. You go to him when you need a spotter in the gym. You go fist bump the couple that always works out together. They're like middle-aged. You fist bump them. And you're taking an interest in your fellow human being. And you're asking them like, oh, what are you guys training today? When I grow up and I get married, I want to be like you guys. I want to train with my wife too. Stuff like that, bro. I promise you will feel so good. And it will level up your social skills so much that in the future, when you come back to the social circles that you know of, they will barely recognize you by just how confident you are and how well spoken you are. The skill of speaking to strangers is so valuable now more than ever because most people just don't do it. Most people put their fucking little AirPods in and then just walk through life as if their fellow human being doesn't exist because it feels kind of awkward to look over at someone and smile and say good morning. But actually, I think the more awkward thing is not looking at the person and pretending that they don't exist. That's like the weirdest modern day human behavior of possible. Think about how it would have been in caveman times. Would you really have just had a stranger next to you whose existence you didn't even look at? No, of course not. You needed to show if you were a friend or foe, and they needed to do it back to you, because if you didn't, there was a risk. Right? And now guess what? We're still cavemen. We still have the same nervous system inside of us. Do you know how sometimes you walk into like a place like the school or gym or whatever, and you kind of like just silently walk in, you don't really hold eye contact with anyone, you kind of don't look at anyone. And on that day, it's like you have a bad day, you act like a bit of an autist, you kind of stutter when you say something, or you drop something like a bit of a retard. It's because your nervous system is all hyper vigilant, thinking like, who are all these people? You know, no one smiled at you, are you safe here? Now imagine the same thing if you came in and the first person who looks up at you when you walk into the room, you say, good morning, you're right. You like say hello to them, give the girl a high five. Hello, Sarah, boom. How was your weekend? Boom. What's up, bro? Okay, boom, 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 boom. Imagine you speak to 10 people when you walk in. There's nothing stopping you from speaking to the group of people in your school that you never really speak to. I know it sounds a bit awkward. Wait, what? Like, how would I do that? Just walk over to the table. There's nothing stopping you actually doing that. Some people will find it cringe, but those people will find everything cringe. Those people, bro, they'd find your shoes cringe. They'd find it cringe if you were broke. They'd also find it cringe if you were rich. They'd find it cringe if you were fat and out of shape. They'd also find it cringe if you were in shape. There's a few people who'd always make fun of you, and their perception of like what to make fun of is so skewed. Like, think about it. They'd make fun of a fat person, but they'd also make fun of a person who's in shape and goes to the gym. They'd make fun of both of them. So it just shows that their judgment is not very effective, because their judgment's fucking retarded. But the highest quality people, they will respect you for this. When you're in the gym and let's say you're being more social because of this step, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to try and speak to as many people as I can, there's going to be someone in there who's more mature. There's going to be some secret millionaire guy in there, and he's going to be thinking like, wow, that's a confident young man. You want his respect. You want your own respect, not the validation of some fucking retard who's got like brain rot from TikTok, who's going to call you corny with a fucking dead rose emoji because you like smiled at people and said good morning. You know, you don't care about the judgment of these fucking retards, do you? Because I don't, and I don't think you should either. They're fucking broken, damaged people who spend too long on fucking social media or whatever. So forget the people who'd make fun of you for this. The good quality people, the healthy people, let's say there's like a girl in your class who comes from like a healthy family. If you walk in, smile and say good morning, and she's a girl, let's say you never speak to, and it seems scary to do that, you know what's going to happen? The moment you smile and say good morning, you're going to see her turn her head towards you and she'll go like this. I guarantee it. You try this once. You probably are thinking of which girl it'll be. Like, think about a girl who comes from like a healthy family, a girl you don't really speak to much from your school or gym or workplace, whatever. You don't usually speak to her, and tomorrow or later today, you go in and you smile and say good morning to her. How are you? How was your weekend? I guarantee it will be the exact same thing. You can come back to this video and say, holy shit, Hamza was exactly right. She'll turn her head, see that, make sure you're smiling, so smile first and go, good morning. Good morning, Sarah. How are you today? No, I just felt like talking to you today. I don't think we spoke too much, so I just wanted to get to know you. Imagine you just do that. The first response, she'll turn her head towards you, and she will literally pick up like this. She'll go, I guarantee it. Go try this, and I swear to God, you'll be like, holy shit, Hamza was so right. Now, truth is, you'll probably fuck it off after that. You'll say some retarded shit, whatever, but it's still progress if you just go and speak to more people. I promise, if you just start doing this habit right now, you will get to the point in a few years' time where it's so easy for you to speak to anyone you want, and you will effortlessly attract girls and speak to guys that you want to be friends with. The reason why you need to do all this, it is not because you're a weak person. It is not because that there's something wrong with you. Genuinely, this shit's not your fault. We live in the weirdest time in history where everything in the modern world is poisoning us. We've got these screens that we're addicted to. We've got porn. We've got hyper palatable processed food. We've got all this weird shit. We've got air pollution, drugs, and so much weird shit that our brain and our body's just not really used to. We're not supposed to live in a world like this. I don't blame you that you're like a young person who's been struggling to like speak to other human beings. I don't blame you that you're a young person. You look at your physique in the mirror and you look like shit. I don't actually blame you for that because of the world that we live in. But that being said, Even though there's these weird fucking companies that are poisoning us, these Silicon Valley companies making these apps that are so addictive, even for young people, even for children, these food companies that are making their food so addictive and destructive to our health, even though it's their fault, it's our responsibility to fix it in ourselves. We have to do the best we possibly can to get into self-improvement, to realize that the modern world is fucking us up, and to take steps that we can start to ease that and create a distance from this modern life. Our mission here is to get 10 million men into self-improvement, and we're already a chunk of the way there. This is a mission for both of us, me and you. And so now if you want to help that, think about another guy that you want to lock in with, another guy that you want to get into self-improvement, and tell him the same things that I've taught you today. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.